everyone, welcome to the second unit of SEM 3. The second unit of SEM 3 is titled A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise, a prose lesson written by none other than our own Gurudev, Sri Rabindranath Tagore. As you all must have already learned about his achievements, one of the best awards that any Indian writer could have ever imagined receiving is the Nobel Prize for Literature. Rabindranath Tagore won the Nobel Prize for Literature for his work called as Gitanjali. He came from an aristocratic family, and the reason behind this particular story will be more understood by you if you get to know about his childhood days. Rabindranath Tagore belonged to an aristocratic family, and his father was often touring throughout the country and abroad. He was left in the care of the servants, and usually the tutors came home to teach him lessons from mathematics to geography to English to all kinds of subjects were taught to him at home. And during those days, he wasn't allowed to go outside, and he really yearned to be among the local boys who played freely amidst nature. He wanted to go and swim in the waters, be amidst nature and enjoy his freedom. However, because the servants were instructed to take care of him, they tried to intimidate him and sometimes also became very physical. He did not like the kind of life he led, nor did he like the palatial home that he lived in. As he grew, his yearning to be a part of nature kept increasing. However, to get away from the realistic world, he kept writing poems. He started writing poems at the age of 8, and when he grew up, he became a teenager. He published his first anthology of poems with a pseudonym. However, as he grew, he wanted to bring a lot of reforms in the education system. His father brought an estate and wanted to convert it into an ashram. However, as a young man, Tagore took up the charge of this beautiful land which he really loved, and he converted it, or he turned it into an open air school, and it was named as Shantiniketan in 1901. This was his dream school where children were learning under the trees in the typical Gurukul fashion. They not only learned the conventional and traditional subjects like mathematics, English, physics, and other major subjects. Here was a school that taught them music, art, literature, culture, etc. So people could learn folk art, folk dance, folk songs, classical songs, while there is a particular genre of music called Rabindra Sangeet. People learned Rabindra Sangeet out here. Gradually, it picked up and it became so famous that a whole lot of people around the country wanted to admit their children in this school to get a holistic learning experience. This school eventually became so popular that today it is recognized as Vishwabharati University, and it stands tall and welcomes foreign students to learn Indian literature, Indian culture, Indian folk music, and many other traditional forms of art. With this particular background knowledge of his love for art and literature, you get to understand that Rabindranath Tagore felt that art was something that brought out the inner joy of any individual. And that is the very reason all his siblings also were famous novelists, writers, composers, playwrights, etc. This particular prose lesson called A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise actually is a satire on the perspective of the society. The society that does not consider art forms or anything creative as professional or a formal kind of education system. This particular story also mocks at the society that does not nurture art and literature. As I tell you the story, try to analyze as to why and how the writer is trying to take us to another understanding of human psychology in our society, where art is not at all appreciated, or an artist or a composer's profession is not considered as a formal kind of a profession. So this story talks about a man who spends all his life on earth painting and doing all leisurely activities that gave him joy. So by the end of his life, when he dies, the doors of the heaven are opened and he gains entry into the paradise. Paradise is a place where everyone is busy doing some or the other work. This man is so habituated to not doing any purposeful work that he has his own kit of paintbrushes and colorful things that with which he usually made a lot of artwork. Here was a place that he could see a lot of busy men rushing towards work while he leisurely laid in the meadows and enjoyed his life. So he does not seem to be fitting in that particular environment where everybody has some or the other work. Everybody gets up in the morning and rushes to work. They are so inclined towards work that they have no other time to do any useless or purposeless works. However, every day there is a particular girl whom the man sees, and she goes to fill water near the torrent. As he sees her every day, one day he stops her and asks her for her picture. Initially, she finds him very different and weird because he doesn't have any kind of job and he's just jobless. So she readily agrees to give the picture so that he could get some job. But he says that he needed the picture for painting. To her, painting was something that was useless, something that did not serve a purpose, and she does not give her picture to him. But then, while she meets him every day, one particular day when he requests her, she offers her picture to him. Next day, the man gets the picture with all beautiful paintings around it and gives it back to her. The girl initially does not understand what the paintings are about and what purpose what they meant for. She goes home, the whole night she looks at the picture and just tries to understand the reason behind the painting and the purpose behind the painting, but is not able to understand. However, there is a kind of sympathy that she has for this man. As she's busy every day, she does not comb her hair. So the man one day offers to make beautiful colored ribbons for her so that she could tie her hair. He presents her beautiful ribbons one day, and then she goes home, ties her hair neatly, spends more time in beautifying herself, and then gets late for work. This affects her regular routine or the work that she usually is busy with. While other men get to see that she is enjoying life, their work also gets affected and they also spend more time in leisurely activities like this girl. However, one fine day, the angel who had given admission to this man into the paradise arrives and reveals the fact that this man was wrongly sent to this paradise. And everyone, especially the wise men, the elderly men, gather together. So let's see what happens after that. Is he allowed to stay back in the paradise, or something else happens? I want you to read the rest of the story and come back to the session or to our live session with a little bit of preparation, so that we have a discussion about art for art's sake. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. This is a proverb, and that was a saying by a great writer. So let us discuss these two in our live session. Thank you so much. See you.